Welcome to ATB-TV. I'm Darren Dance here with Peter Morgani, and if you're wondering why we're laughing, we've had 3 goes of getting this right on Facebook. We've been sideways left, we've been sideways right, but now we think we've got it right. Pete, we're at the Ballarat Turf Club. We've just watched a horse run and a little bit of snow on the way to the track at a lazy 3 degrees.
Well, 3 feels like minus 33, Darren. It's cold. It's very cold, and a few of the jockeys have said it's the coldest conditions they've ever ridden in. Mitch
Freedman was saying he had to ride 9 this morning.
Yeah, he actually sort of, I'm the boss, and I'm telling him to go out there and ride. I've probably got to do the same thing. He did, he rode 9.
Coldest he's ever been?
Coldest he's ever been. So,
Archie Alexander was quite funny. He said, you know, as a young man, I had a dream to come to Australia to train. I've been watching Bondi Vet, beautiful sunshine waves, kangaroos everywhere, and I end up in Ballarat. What is wrong with this picture?
Unbelievable.
I thought that was great.
I interviewed Matt Kamani, and he said people must think I'm mad to come from England to Ballarat, but anyway, this is one out of the box, Darren.
One out of the box?
One out of the box.
We've got 4 days of this, Pete.
4 days out of the box, but anyway, we've got a few viewers there.
Yeah, good on you. Why aren't you working? Why aren't they working, Pete?
Well,
haven't they got a job?
3 o'clock, Darren, it's traditionally sort of Arvo tea time.
Arvo tea.
And I reckon if there's any inside or outside workers, they'll be all inside today anyway. So
well, we were outside this morning disconnecting troughs and moving troughs in. We just picked the perfect weather.
How could you be playing with water on a day like today?
Well, I couldn't feel my hands, so I had no idea. Well, Pete, let's go back to last week. We just had the 4 runners.
Yeah.
You tell us where to start.
I went to Pakenham. I was pretty confident I had the best bet of the week.
And you got done.
We ran second. So it sort of followed on from last year. A lot of seconds.
Please, let's not go there.
Ran some money. He was good, just beat by a better horse.
Was he?
Yep.
How far did you beat?
I don't know what the margins were.
I'm just testing you here live on Facebook.
2 or 3 links.
So you can't edit all the stuff he normally edits out here.
Hey, Peter, now we get to see what you really think of jockeys, and you can't edit it out. Well, that's Darren, not me. So
who ran some money?
Jared Fry, 1-1.
What did he say? Needs a mile man.
Yeah. Yep, 1400. They're just a bit sharp for him when they sprint. He actually travels well, and then they sprint, and it takes him 100 metres to pick up. So Mitch is looking through the calendar for a mile race. There was a 1500 here at Ballarat, but he's obviously bypassing that and looking for a mile.
All right, where do we go after that?
I'll just read these little Arvo drinks David Baker's on, so there you go.
They start at 11 o'clock, I think.
We go to Periscope at Echuca now.
Oh, I went to Echuca. That's a nice 3-hour drive each way, Pete.
Not much warmer up there either, Darren.
Wasn't too bad, I think.
He pulled up.
We thought he was going to run a nice race.
It was a Geelong meet and transferred to Echuca, and
he ran last.
Pulled up.
Absolute shocker.
Pulled up with a couple of little issues.
A massive problem.
Anyway.
Disappointing.
Shockingly disappointing, but we'll fix it.
Well,
Paul's onto it.
Paul's got him sorted. He actually ended up with a stifle issue, which he'd had under Darren Weir, and Paul has sort of got him right, but just under race pressure it flared up. So, look, don't lose faith in that horse, because he ran second at Warrnambool to that Val Declare, who won the Derby in Queensland, and then won one of those cups up there.
Yeah, what about a Group 1? He ran second in too.
I think it's won a million, and we're still a maiden.
A little bit hard to fathom that, but look, he's just got to be getting him right and
keep him right.
The ability will come out, but sometimes these horses can be a little tricky.
Would you swap him for Surprise Baby?
In a heartbeat, I reckon.
Right, there you go.
Yeah,
live and free on Facebook.
Yeah, you can't edit it out. Someone's saying, yeah, right, can't. Anyway,
where are we going next?
Yesterday, you went down to a wet Warrnambool.
Jeez, I've done the miles this week.
The weather come in for you too.
Oh, shocking.
Anyway, we had Lady McPhee run. Look, she ran well.
Where'd she run? Fifth,
beaten 3.8 in the winners Saturday City class of Mars.
We got smashed, let's be honest.
It's 64s this time of year. You think you can go there and you're a real chance, and you just come across these good horses now. It's going to happen more often than not as we get closer to the spring. But look, she was okay. Dean reckons that because of the muddling pace, they all just held their ground, and we know she's got a reasonable sprint. I think because of that factor, maybe the heavy tracks, her assets just taken away.
I feel like that you know, I feel like now every time we take her to a mile, she disappoints. She seems to be a 1200 to 1400 horse.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm noticing is everyone's saying she loves the wet and she gets through it, but we don't see that turn of foot she showed early when Darren Weir said she was going to be a Saturday City class horse. So we're sort of tossing up whether to stop now and just give her a break and then get her back on top of the ground and see if she can show us that turn of foot, because she's definitely better than the 58 to 64 horse, and it may be that we're just on the wrong train.
Yeah, well, a couple of those runs we looked through the form last night, obviously she's coming from 10th and 12th over 1,000, 1,100 metre races and flashing home for second. And, you know,
now, bearing in mind you're live on Facebook, Pete, what you were saying earlier was being a Carlton supporter, you changed your coach and you've won what, how many?
5, 7 or 8 or something.
You'd be right on it. 5 of 8 changed your coach.
8, yeah.
And you're saying maybe they should apply to Lady Mafty.
Yeah, go to Manny Williams.
Changed his coach.
I just noticed Matthew's tuned in here.
Williams.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to do.
No.
Who's feeding his horses?
Got a good lot of staff down there, Matthew, obviously.
He's sitting at home in front of the heater, I reckon.
Yeah.
Hey?
Some of these might be aware that we know they're popping up. We'll see them all dropping off now.
Yeah, that's it. All right,
Yeah,
so Lady
anyway.
Mafty, we'll work out what we're going to do there, but I think maybe she's a 12 to 1400 metre horse on top of the ground.
I think we've had 4 or 5 goes around that mile. Not the yesterday was a mile, and she's disappointed. We'll probably say why.
Apart from that, she's very consistent without winning.
Yep. Here at Ballarat today, that little Piero filly called Gamay nearly bowled over the 2s on pop, Darren.
Well, probably slipped under the guard a lot of people because it's racing in the Coolmore colours.
Yes.
And we're lucky to be involved. And she's a really nice filly. She was having a second start today. She opened 850, came into 480 with your money.
Never mind.
480, I couldn't believe it.
I seen someone flicking through the 1,000 guineas.
Archie was very confident that she'd run well, and I thought I'd be smart and take the exacta.
290.
290, what a waste of time that was.
Anyway,
something for the battlers, but I thought her run was really good. Look, without bagging Declan Bates, I thought Linda Meach showed a lot of initiative to take off when she did, and then Declan got caught behind and he had to wait for the run.
If you watch the race,
split through, hits the lead, but she just gets in on the line.
If you watch the replay, there was a thing in white outsiders, and Linda was behind us. As soon as she said it dropping off, she jumped straight at the
smart right, wasn't it?
Before Declan had a chance to do anything. So, you know, well ridden Linda, and what was there, 3 inches in the result. Probably
Karamar again.
The winner.
And Rob Crabtree, the owner.
Yeah, anyway,
got us by 1.5 inches.
Our filly be winning next start over a mile, I reckon.
You're tipping it? Tipping it?
Trying.
Hey?
Trying. Well, 200s into 100s in the 1,000 guineas, Darren.
We did manage to have something on her in the 1,000 guineas at the 201.
Yep.
Straight after the race into 101. They don't miss much.
Don't miss a thing.
I reckon when she wins next start, she'll come into 30 or 40 to 1.
Cash out.
Then we'll cash out.
Cash out.
Because we got no confidence.
So, 4 runners, 2 seconds. 50% strike rate for a place, and we're continuing on with our runner seconds.
All right.
Right, I reckon there's a winner there over the weekend.
Where do you... Oh, well, here we go.
I'm going to put the suit on and go to Flemington.
Yeah, well, given that I've done 5,000 Ks this week around the bush, you're off to Flemington.
Yeah.
Race 8, is it?
The Ori Star, the Moneybags, is second up. You'll find a few of these nippy early, but we just hope he's running home late.
What's the plan? Why is he in the Ori Star at 80 to 1, Pete? Why are we going there? What's the plan?
Well, Flemington's his track, I think.
Stick to Flemington?
Robbie, he did run well.
Got bigger fish to fry later in the spring?
Well, hopefully over 1,400 to 1,600. He ran well down the straight to benchmark 90 on 8th day.
Where does he finish?
I'm hoping he beats half the field,
Midfield?
Yeah.
And the margin to the winner?
About 4.
4. Well, this run will bring him to his top.
Yep.
We've got to keep him at Flemington. We've got to get him fit because we've got all the spring to go. He can't win Saturday, but it's going to set him up perfectly for later in the spring.
Yep, I agree.
And who rides?
Bo Mertens is on because
Jai McNeil wanted to ride Snowden's horse.
Yeah. Done that a couple of times with Australia.
Yeah,
it's like Snowden, say to us.
I don't reckon he's going to get back on.
Oh, watch out. Sunday, we've got 2 horses, 2 venues. Bendigo will go first, Captain Harry.
Yeah, I'm going to Bendigo.
Yep, it's been the flag bearer for us probably over the last couple of months with 3 wins from 4.
Get a few comments there, Pete.
Just reading away there, Darren. He finds a very winnable race again. A benchmark 78 mile. Jess Eaton drawn 2. Geez, I reckon it's easier than the race he won at Sandown.
They put up 550, Pete. I see you snapped that up pretty quick.
I've had a few bets so far this week.
Mate, you're the biggest punter I know.
No, not me. I'll be watching a lot Saturday and Sunday. So, strong each way.
Oh, mate.
Good winning chance.
This is his race.
What will the track be? 7 or 8? Easy.
It's definitely an 8. They had all the rain there.
Yep. So, Captain Harris, who hopefully you can bring home a DVD, Darren.
I'm going there to get one.
Other side of the state, or west of the state, is Casterton. Now, we did say, well, you know, what's the chances of Casterton running? I think it'll be fine, because the weather's worse, it's probably gone.
You're the expert. You come from out that way. You're
one of the
born
better,
and bred out in the scrub there.
One of the better wet tracks around, Victoria. Little French Fizz. Found a nice race of a field of 8, but drawn 8. That's the only query. If she can get across without doing too much.
It's pretty much a letters track, you know.
Yeah, it should be very hard to beat.
If she can get outside the leader,
yep,
she'll be hard to run down.
They are not ageing nicely, I thought.
Who wrote that?
Someone replying to Wayne.
Well, you know what I say to you guys?
Wayne Butcher, great head for radio, Box.
You know what I say to you blokes?
This is the last time.
Should have went to Specsavers.
It's the last time we're going live, you mongrels.
Their fees just went up.
Yeah.
We write all these names down.
Yeah. Certain accounts are going to just get little admin fees.
That's it. We've got them covered.
Anyway, look, if she can get across and get a nice lead, very hard to beat. Harry Coffey on. She drew 2.
She's been over racing, Pete.
Yeah.
Now you tell me you went up and watched her gallop up the hill twice in one day.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to get the edge off her to bring her back.
Try and take a bit of the sting out of her, and she worked really well. Young Theo Nugent actually said, wouldn't mind sitting on her on Sunday. So
yeah, I think she was just, look, when Darren Weir had her, I think she wanted a 6th-up run.
Yeah.
Because she was just overdoing it. You've got to get that fresh edge off her.
Yeah.
She's her own worst enemy, but she can gallop.
Yeah, no, that's right. So hopefully we can go to Caston and get the job done.
Yeah, well, you can make it your best because I'm going with Captain Harry.
Yeah, well, that's our 2 goes for the weekend. Anyway, after that, we have a debutante on Tuesday back here at Royal Ballarat. Queen of Hell, the helmet filly, a mare.
Well, I've watched the trials, Pete, and I can't say I've been impressed.
She didn't appreciate the mud at St Arnaud. She didn't like the kickback here when she fell back behind him.
What's Daniel saying? What's Daniel Bowman saying?
Well, he needs to get her to the races to have a look at her in race day type atmosphere, and then there is a race at Warrnambool a couple of weeks after this. Just hope the weather all sort of steadies up and we can get her on a, well, even if it's a 5 turf track, and then we'll make judgment.
We're in the middle of winter, mate. Where are you going to get a 5?
Warrnambool, that's where he's gone a little bit north.
Okay.
But anyway, sometimes they can surprise you when it comes to race day.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Christine Allender can't spell. Kristen Allender, I mean. Sorry, Kristen. You still can't spell.
Righto. Wednesday, Sandown.
Wayne Butcher, got him. Right?
Yeah.
Head for radio.
Head for radio.
Probably true. That's it.
We're going to Sandown Wednesday.
No, but as far as we definitely know they're all up and about.
Well, we're definitely going to Sandown.
Yeah, Matty Williams has got my shiny choice in.
And who's right at that?
Well,
Theo Nugent.
Theo put his hand up and asked for what it was doing, and it's probably not a bad move because he'll claim.
It'll be heavy.
He's 1 on it, 1 from 1.
What rating would that race be?
It's a 78.
Oh, jeez, that'll be
70.
tough.
70 or 78? I think it's a 78. Down the weights with a claim. On speed.
Likes it wet.
I think it's Lakeside.
You're the expert.
Could be wrong there. Matthew will come through.
Then Thursday.
If he hasn't gone to sleep.
Who's going to...
go to the Fizz.
Who's going to go to Sale on Thursday, Pete?
Sale, that's in New Zealand, isn't it?
You'll be for sale in a minute.
Roderer, the...
First starter.
Yeah,
what is it? Not a singled out, and a more bubbly.
Yeah, she's a good man.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going to Sale Thursday, actually. How far is Sale? 3 hours?
Oh, 4 from here, wouldn't it?
4?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
Just talking more bubbly.
Shay Eden.
More bubbly. Darwin Cup was just on. Before we had her racing around up there about 5 years ago. Yeah, look, I don't know. What's your gauge on this horse? Sort of...
He was going good early. He was going good early, and then he hurt his hamstrings.
Yep.
and trial's shocking, and then he went out and he's back, and he said he worked really good during the week. But we're just going to have to get the late mail on Tuesday off Mr. Eden. Yeah. I'm not sure he'll run there if it's wet, but look, he's a lovely horse. I think if he does run there and you see him in the yard, he's a magnificent colt.
Yeah.
Big, strong, strapping colt. But look, I'll have to have a look at him in the yard to see if I can see any rib speed. Unlikely.
He was going to run at Mildura until we drew that bad gate, which was a fortnight ago tomorrow.
We'll just save that mark for the owners, because these rude people on Facebook are going to get nothing.
No, Dave Baker's love the Facebook idea, guys. Well done.
Good.
So we've got one happy follower.
There's one good man.
Yeah.
There's one good man out there.
One good man out there.
He actually came to the races the other day to see his horse. It's the first time David Baker's been in the races since 1978.
You've just got a follower in there, you're going to knock him.
It was good to see him at the races, Pete.
It was.
Even though the horse went crap.
We had about 60 owners there that day, Darren.
All right, so your best for the week's French Fizz. Mine's Captain Harry.
Yep.
One to follow, Gamay.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be scared to have something on her in the 1,000 guineas, guys, before she shortens up. Then you can cash out. I reckon it's a good betting strategy. Get on early,
all along.
Get off, take the cash. Don't be greedy.
Trouble is, I'll never find them, Darren. You're going to have to lead me in.
So you're not going to Casterton Sunday because Carlton's won 5 out of 7, so he's all of a sudden wants to talk about AFL now. We haven't heard nothing about it for 2 years.
Got 4 Carlton memberships, so I took all the older boys round 1.
Yeah.
Joan is a Richmond supporter. He goes, Dad, how come I can't go? I said, have a look when the next game is, round 21. So for 4 months he's hounded me. Booked the tickets a month ago. We're in the outer, and it's going to be about 5 degrees. What do you read?
I don't know. What's he saying?
Michael Burns, thanks for remembering his tipping prize, which that actually leads us in. We're going to have another.
Thank you, Michael. We're actually going to run a new competition for tipping this spring.
Yep.
We're a little bit slow on paying out the prizes,
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, mate, what I actually did was I calculated the interest incurred on the delay, and I doubled the price.
What about prize?
Crown Towers.
For 2 nights,
3
nights,
4,
whatever.
Whatever you want to do.
I'll take the...
You'd take your 4 wives, wouldn't you?
I'll take the harem. Steve
Anyway.
Everett's clocked in.
He's clocked in. He's going all right with his horses too,
Another
Steve.
trainer's wife. Watch out.
They're all
All
on
after tips. Yeah, so we'll probably kick that tipping comp off probably in September.
Well, we're on the eve of spring, Pete.
Yeah, we'll wait till September, and then we're getting right into just before the Guineas and all the good races. And you can come up with another fandangled prize, like a trip to Hong Kong or something like that.
Well, they're cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
No one wants to go to Hong Kong.
Go.
It's a travel warning, Pete. Don't you watch the news?
No, I don't.
Vietnam, maybe.
So why you sent me to Hong Kong?
Wrong year.
Wrong year.
Now, while you're waffling on there, what I'd like to say is, while you're only interested in the AFL, we're actually interested in our mares that are about to start foaling, Pete. There's one mare there that's due any day to Akeed Feed, who's been going really well. You probably never heard of that horse.
No.
And our mare over in the UK, Azadi, who's about to pop a Frankel in the next 4 to 5 days. And she's going to the new super horse over in the UK, Kingman.
Righto.
So for the high flyers, that's what's happening.
Well, if there's a foal board today, I want 50% of it, because it'll have to be the toughest thing going around. If it survives this weather, I'm in.
Good.
I'll buy half of it.
Well, I wouldn't like to be, if I was a mare, I wouldn't be foaling in 3 degrees, I can tell you. You know, people probably don't realise this, but mares, brood mares actually have the ability to hold off and will not foal in really bad weather. They'll hold off for a day or two, they'll run milk and they just won't foal.
Protection mechanism.
And they just seem to be able to do that. So we're pretty confident we won't get anything here foaling until Monday, but there is a mare there ready to go here, and there's also a mare ready to go over in the UK.
David Baker's all over Ladbrokes. He was just able to boost Gamay to $301 on Ladbrokes for the Guineas.
Well, he's buggered it for everyone else.
Yeah. Speaking of cold weather and Europe and what have you, cold weather, I was down at the Kamani stables this morning.
You did.
I had 10 minutes
Another
with
interview.
Matt. Had an interview with Matt. So we're going to get rid of the live Facebook here before we get crowned with any more.
And you're going to show this interview
comments
with Matt
with
Kamani.
Matt.
Interesting
lovely
story.
Lovely fellow. Background, he's the 3rd generation Kamani. His grandmother rode as an amateur against the men and was a leading rider a couple of times. Grandfather of training, obviously Luca Kamani. Missed a couple of Melbourne Cups narrowly with Bauer and Purple Moon.
Yep.
And Matt's obviously would love to
win a Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, so interesting story. Bulldog supporter, follows the AFL.
Yeah, that's only because the year he turned up to Aussie, they won the flag.
Yeah, well, he started barracking for it then, and yeah,
then they got crap sense.
I had a little bit of a go at him about the cricket, but he hit back with the World Cup, which
they cheated. They cheated.
Well, they didn't win anyway. So.
Anyway, the Test cricket. I'm glad that was over because I got no sleep for 3 days.
Yeah. Anyway, so
just before we go on to the Kamani interview and shut this down, I know I've had a few emails over the last few days about what's happening with the Melbourne Cup project. So we've got 2 irons in the fire. One we'll find out about prior to Monday, and the other one, it's a bit of a sneaky one, Pete.
Even I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Do I?
You know about it. We were talking about it before. We've got to approach a trainer and say, can we buy your horse or part of?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So after he stops laughing, we might have to wave a good sized cheque in front of him.
Yeah, very, very enticing for the owners if I was one of them anyway.
You'd take it, wouldn't you?
Oh,
we only want 40% of the horse.
I'd be good, Darren. I'd be in Hawaii.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon they'll take the offer?
I don't know, but they'll think. They'll have to think about it. What's the old saying about the
Bird in the hand? I reckon he's a pretty exciting horse. I reckon he's got a lot of future.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be over deer. He's going to be Australian trained.
Yeah. I wonder if they've got any idea.
I don't think anybody's would ever think to go and have a crack at this horse, but I would.
Yeah, well, gone from Europe's.
And maybe if it's not this year, it'll be definitely next year. I reckon it's worth doing.
People are all over it. Hasn't had many starts this horse, Darren.
Oh, I don't think anyone would pick it because it's a little bit left of centre. You got to think. You got to think outside the state.
Yeah, outside the square, outside the state, outside the country.
Yeah, no, it's in the country. This one.
Yeah, I know.
It's all right. Sneaky little offer.
Here with Matt Kamani, one of the ATB trainers, and we're just going to a little bit of insight and background, Matt. It's fairly obvious how you probably got involved in racing from a family steeped in racing history. Obviously, we know Lukey, your father, but it even stems back further. I think your grandparents were all well and truly involved, being jockey and trainer as well. So just give us a bit of a brief there.
Yeah, exactly. My grandfather was a trainer in Milan, and his wife, my grandmother, was a very good amateur female rider when there were no amateur female riders, and she had to take on the boys and did very well. Actually, was champion amateur a few times. My father trained to be a doctor, but soon decided that actually racing was for him, and trained in Italy, but also in Newmarket for some trainers, including Henry Cecil, and then went out on his own in the late 70s and had a great career as a trainer there. And now I am the 3rd generation and have moved country again. We seem to go where the best, probably following the prize money, I guess. But Australia's a great place to train, and I think it's got a really progressive attitude. The prize money is obviously going fantastic, and I think it's going to be the hotspot of racing for the foreseeable future.
You've touched on, you're here in Australia, the move to Australia. A lot of thought put into that. How did all that evolve?
Well, I had done a bit of training in England and America, and was going back to the UK to train under my father, and then in theory take over from him. But he wasn't quite ready to retire at that point, so I thought I'd add to my training and do a little stint in Australia. Came down here and worked for Chris Waller for the best part of a year. And then while I was down here, I really got the bug for Australian racing and saw and realised the opportunities. So went back home, told my father what I was going to do, and then it all kicked off from there. And I've had a lot of help along the way, and a really good, successful first 3 years. And it's been fun, hard work, but hopefully it'll keep going well, and we can get plenty of nice Group 1 winners in the future.
How did the Ballarat set up here? We're here at Ballarat now. We'll just touch on how many you train and all that, but Ballarat, how did that come into focus?
Yeah, well, it's a typical Ballarat day today, absolute miserable.
Worse than typical.
Exactly, and I think a few people have questioned why on earth I came all the way from England to go to probably one of the most English-looking towns or cities in Australia. But really, it's the facilities here at the Ballarat Turf Club are excellent, and I think really is one of the best training centres in Australia. So I think location wasn't too much of a difficult decision for me. It was an obvious one, and we set up 3 years ago and have been steadily expanding since. But I find not only the uphill track, that's often the sort of go-to idea of what Ballarat is, but it's just got a huge range of facilities as well, particularly with the new polytrack, racecourse, but also the walkways, the old hill track. There's just really everything you could need to train horses.
Very similar to European conditions in a lot of ways.
Exactly, as close as you'll get to a Newmarket, I think, in this hemisphere, and for that reason it was obvious. And we're also close to a lot of the major racecourses in town, but also a lot of the country tracks, so it really is a perfect location.
We sort of think European trainers and we think stayers. Obviously Dad went very close twice in the Melbourne Cup. I think from memory it was Purple Moon beaten by Efficient and Bow beaten by View.
Exactly, yeah, well done.
So
yeah.
that had deep, sort of burned deep that an aim, obviously, to get to Melbourne Cup stage and be winning it, obviously.
Yeah, without a doubt, I'd love to. I mean, that really would be a great race to win. We've had a runner in it in one of our first years, a horse called Grey Lion, who was turning for home and looked like the winner all over, and then just didn't kick on from the turn. But that was a hell of an experience, and really gave me a taste of what it might be like to win a Melbourne Cup, and it's a huge aim. But there's so many races in the Australian calendar that I'd love to win, ranging from 2-year-old races right through to the sort of older horse staying races.
I was going to mention that, obviously. Staying's probably sort of embedded in the blood, but in Australia there's a wide expanse. So training the sprinter or the middle distance types, you have to be very adept at all that, with, you know, obviously owners looking for a wide range of variety of horses.
Exactly, and I was brought up more on the sort of staying side, but actually I'm fascinated by 2-year-olds in particular, because I think there really is a bit of a knack to training them. Really not training them hard, but making sure you get a lot of the conditioning in early when they're sort of adaptable and flexible. And I think if you do that, you can give them a really good career, and not only give them more chance of success at 2 when they're only racing against a small proportion of the crop, but also actually they can have real longevity because you've got that good conditioning in early on. So I'm interested by those, and sprinters as well. Obviously, that's where the majority of the prize money day to day is, down here in Australia. And stayers is sort of second nature a little bit to me, and there are some of the greatest staying races in the world down here. So I think it's varied, and I wouldn't want to sort of try and pick one thing to try and be good at. I want to be good at all of it, and obviously we're still learning. I think you learn in this game till the day you drop. So it's a process, but it's a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll try and have success in every category and at every level.
Yep. Just back here to Ballarat now, you're reasonably established here. Just numbers and you know, staff and the whole lot. What's the stable set up?
So we've got 70 horses in at the moment. We've got 3 barns in a sort of triangle formation between our house barn and the main barn here, and another barn beside the pool. So we've got good close access to the track. We haven't at the moment got much room to expand, but we'll be looking at developing the house barn a little bit, and we're looking probably to sort of keep around this number, maybe a little bit more in the near future. I think it's quite a good number. I think you can get success, you can find champions with a stable this size, and I think it's a good base to sort of kick off our career, because we're really quite a young stable. We've gone from 6 horses when we first started to 70 now, and hopefully if we can keep going the way we've been going, and we can improve every year in terms of not only the number of wins but the quality of winner, then I think the next few years is going to be really exciting.
Just from a personal point of view, racing sort of just consumes so much of our time. Matt Kamani, outside racing, obviously married with one child.
Yes.
Married an Australian girl. What downtime for yourself? I know it's hard because it's 24/7, but any other interests outside that will get you away from racing?
Well, I used to, but really now, since setting up, there's absolutely nothing. I mean, I try and do the odd holiday, and I love skiing holidays, always a favourite of mine. I'm hopeless at golf, but I'll give it a go. And really, there's not much time, particularly between training and raising a family. But it's a good job. It is all consuming, but we train at home, so on a day where we don't have runners, You know, I'll go back to the house for lunch, and I'll see baby Maxie and see Sarah, and it's actually, you know, I think it's a great lifestyle, really. I mean, it is the hours are punishing, but you get to, I think, be at home a little bit more often than actually you would if you were working in the city in a normal job. So I think it's a great lifestyle, and actually for me, it's a fascinating one as well, because you meet all sorts of different people, ranging from the guys you work with to the varied owners that you have from all over the world. So I think it's a really interesting and always evolving, always changing sort of career, and that's why I love it.
Yeah. Obviously, Australian rules football is a big thing over here. You've been roped into following a team here.
Well, when I first came, I thought I'd go for the Western Bulldogs, because they're affiliated with Ballarat, and they were sort of underdogs when I first came. And then that year they went and won the final. So I don't know. I haven't really settled on one, but I did go to my first game the other day, and we have got a few players in our stable, including Chris Judd. So there's a little bit of pressure to go for certain teams, but I think it's a great game, and I'm looking forward to sort of getting a bit more involved in it in the future.
Being a Carlton supporter, I'm pretty happy Chris Judd's about. Cricket, that's been good for the Australians recently with the Ashes.
Well, very recently, yes, very good. But I think the English team did a fantastic job in the World Cup. I mean, that was an awesome game. I would have loved to have watched it or been there, but I think it's difficult to change codes over the space of 2 weeks, like they've been sort of asked to do. But I think they've got a lot of promise there. I think England and Australia will be battling it out for many years to come.
Exactly. Just back to racing level again. We just got off track a little bit there. With ATB, we're only really in our infancy in terms of a partnership. Haven't had too many horses through, but love to keep building our bridges there and build up our team. Obviously been without winning at the moment. It's been a good partnership.
Yeah, really good, and I love the kind of horse that comes through to us. As you say, we're sort of in the early days of it, so we had early days a horse that came through from another trainer, so that was a challenge to see if we could try and improve her. And now we've had a couple of horses that are through since yearlings, but there's always a certain quality about the horses we get from ATB, and I can always feel comfortable that a horse coming to us is not only a nice type but a good pedigree and also very well educated in the early days. So there's a certain level that you come to expect from certain owners, and ATB is always high quality, and it's a pleasure to train for them.
No need to ask this last question. I've asked the other trainers who I've interviewed. Melbourne Cup or Cox Plate goes without saying. I think the Melbourne Cup, but from a different angle, Melbourne Cup or the Ascot Gold Cup.
Well, gosh, I think actually, funny enough, it'd be the Melbourne Cup. Actually, yeah. I think there are other races I'd love to win in the UK and Europe. The Arc de Triomphe would be one I'd just absolutely love to win, and obviously the Derby, which my father won twice. But the Melbourne Cup's got something about it. I'm not sure exactly what it is, and I couldn't say it's the history of it because England's is steeped in history as well. But there's something about the Melbourne Cup, and I really just would love to win it.
We'll leave it there, Matt. Thanks a lot. Obviously, Darren and Liz Dancer's fascination with the Melbourne Cup and being close with Jackalbury and had Dan Dino in the race, and obviously Heartbreak City was a heartbreak loss, and obviously your family's involvement with. Hopefully we can build the bridges to get the right type of horse there one year and celebrate it together.
Exactly, that's the aim. Let's do it.
Great. Thanks for your time, Matt.
Cheers.